Hello, this is AJ. Welcome to our next lesson. Today's lesson is called Identity. Your identity is what you believe about yourself. So this topic is a little bit similar to the topic of beliefs. We've talked a lot about beliefs before. Remember, limiting beliefs and empowering beliefs. Identity is really an important kind of belief, or beliefs, really. It's a collection of beliefs about yourself. The reason this is important, more important than just normal beliefs, is because these are global beliefs. Now, by global, I mean something that affects everything. It covers everything. Global comes from globe, which means all of the world. Well, we're not talking about internationally here. Here, global means everything, covering everything, about everything. So global beliefs are beliefs that affect everything else. Your global beliefs affect all your other beliefs. They influence all your other beliefs. They influence all of your other emotions. They influence everything. They're kind of the most fundamental beliefs, the core, deepest beliefs, the central beliefs. And other beliefs come from them. So you've already been thinking a lot about your beliefs related to English, for example. But now I want you to think about the beliefs you have about yourself, who you are, what kind of person you are, what your abilities are. These are very, very important. You need to choose them because most of us grow up and we learn them from other people. We don't even know it's happening. For example, we grow up thinking we are citizens of a certain country. And that's true. Of course, it's true. But if we identify too much, if that belief is too strong, we can become negative, possibly even violent towards people from other countries. If I say, I'm an American, America's number one, I'm the best, everyone else sucks. Well, believe it or not, there are people in the United States who think that. There are people like that in every country. Obviously, this is not a positive belief, not positive for most people. It has a lot of negative consequences. So we've got to be careful about our global beliefs, about what we believe about ourselves. More commonly, we have a lot of beliefs about what we can do and what we cannot do. We have beliefs about ourselves. I am this and I'm not that. I'll give you an example of my own limiting global belief. For many, many, many years, I had a belief. I'm not a good language learner. This was a very strong belief that I had, a global belief about myself. Now, every time I tried to learn a new language, this belief was there. Do you think it helped me learn other languages? No, it did not. It had the opposite effect. It frustrated me. It caused me to quit again and again and again. And here's what happens. I have this idea in my head from the past. I'm not a good language learner. I'm a poor language learner. So when I start to try to learn Japanese, for example, what happens? Well, I start learning. And unfortunately, I was trying normal, traditional methods, not effortless methods. I know better now, but in the past, I didn't know. So I was trying just these normal methods. And of course, it was difficult. I had problems. I made mistakes. It was difficult to understand. So what happened is this experience touched, interacted with my global belief. I'm not a good language learner, or I'm a poor language learner. And then these experiences, which are kind of difficult. So I looked at these experiences and I decided the meaning was, well, see, I'm not a good language learner, of course. Of course, Japanese is difficult because I'm not a good language learner. So I quit. Now, another person can have the same experience. Let's Say somebody who has the belief, I am a great language learner. I love learning languages. I am fantastic at languages. And they start to learn Japanese. And guess what happens? They have some difficulties. They have trouble understanding, of course. They're a beginner. They're just starting. Now, they don't think, oh, see, I can't do it. They think, well, this is normal, but I'm a great language learner, so I'm going to solve this problem and keep going. I'm going to get better and better. This will improve. Their whole attitude is different. So when the same thing happens to them, it doesn't stop them. It doesn't hurt their emotions. Their energy doesn't drop. They don't lose motivation. They get stronger and better. They decide, well, this is a short-term problem. I'm going to solve it. We're going to keep going. So that's the power of a global belief. It affects everything. Every specific experience is filtered through the global beliefs. So every language experience I had was filtered through this belief, I'm not a good language learner. And if I have the opposite belief, I'm a great language learner, well, then every experience will be filtered through that. Okay, so we need to choose our global beliefs. It's very important. We need to develop empowering global beliefs as well. Not just beliefs about English or beliefs about specific things, but also beliefs about ourselves, who we are, what we can do, what kind of person we are. These are the most important kinds of beliefs, these global identity beliefs. So you need to look at your own right now about English and learning in general. Do you have limiting, negative, global beliefs? What do you think about yourself? Do you think, oh, I'm not good at English? Or do you think, oh, I am a fantastic English learner. I'm a fantastic English speaker. I learn languages easily and quickly. Which one? It's a big, big difference. It'll have a big effect which one you choose. So let's talk about how can you build up this identity? How can you choose your identity? Well, the first thing you need to decide, just rationally, very carefully, just thinking logically, what kind of beliefs would help you? What kind of beliefs would guarantee your success? Those are the ones you want to choose. Consciously choose the beliefs you want about yourself. So go ahead right now, pause this, get a piece of paper, and write down maybe 3 or 4 beliefs, positive, strong beliefs that will change your feeling about yourself. Write down at least a couple that are related to language learning, English speaking, and maybe just some very general ones about yourself. And begin every sentence with I am. I am a great language learner. I am a great English speaker. I am a fast learner, etc. Okay, so 4 or 5, I want you to write them down. 4 or 5 positive, empowering, global beliefs, identity beliefs. I am something. And then after you finish, play again and we'll continue. So pause right now and do this real quick. Okay, did you do it? Did you write down your empowering, strong, global beliefs, beliefs about yourself, the ones you want? Good. Well, here's what you're going to do now. You're going to make those stronger. And if you remember, the way we make a belief stronger is we add references, we add experiences, we add evidence. We add specific examples that show that it's true. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to think back. Think in your life. Think about a time, any time, one experience where you succeeded. You did something that was difficult and you succeeded. And I want you to write that down again. Pause really quickly. Write down just one example, something you did that was difficult. You succeeded even though it was difficult. Go ahead, pause, do it. Okay. Here's what I want you to do now. Think again. We're going to find another reference, another example. Think back again in your life, any time in your life, now, in the past, in the far past, as a child, last week, yesterday, doesn't matter. I want you to think about a time when you learned something, that seemed difficult. So you learned something, it might have seemed tough at the time, but you did it. You learned it, a new skill, knowledge, anything. Just think about successful times in your past when you learned something. And you should have more than one, so I would like you to write down 4 or 5 of these. 4 or 5 successful learning experiences, things that you learned. One example we all have, you learned your native language. You are a master of your native language. Write that down. And write down 4 or 5 other examples of successful learning in your past. Okay, did you do it? Good. Now, I want you to think back. This one might be a little tougher for some of you. Maybe not. I hope not. I want you to think back to a time in your past where you were successful with English. Maybe a time where you read something and you understood it and you're really happy. Wow, I understood that article. I understood that story. Maybe a time when you listened to something in English and you understood. And you were very happy. Maybe a time where you spoke a little bit of English and you felt proud, you felt strong. Oh, this is great, I just spoke English. Maybe you wrote something in English. It doesn't matter. It does not have to be big. Something small is fine. But I want you to find 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, maybe 10 if you have them. Experiences, specific examples of success with English. They can be small. It's okay. Just little examples from your past when you did something successfully with English. Pause now and write them down. All right, did you do it? So now here you have a list of examples. You have examples of meeting a challenge, doing something difficult in your past. You have examples of learning difficult things in your past. You have examples of succeeding with English in your past. Review them, remember them. And the next step with each one by one, you're going to remember these, and you're going to remember them vividly. Remember that word? Vividly, colorfully, big, clear. So take the first one on your list. A past challenge, something in the past that was difficult, but you succeeded. Imagine it. See it in your head right now. See the picture of yourself succeeding. Now make that picture bigger. Bring it closer to you. Make it large. Make it brighter, like a TV set. Turn it, make it brighter, more light, more light, more light. It's big and it's bright now, this success that you had in your past. Now add color. See all the colors in this picture. Make it very colorful. Remember all of the colors in this experience, in this picture. It's big, it's bright, it's colorful. And finally, associate with the picture. Associate. Associate means you're connected. You're in the picture. In psychology, we can disassociate or we can associate. Disassociate means you're separate from something. An experience, for example. It's like you're looking at it from the outside. But if you associate with it, it means you're in it. You're part of it. So I want you to associate with this picture. Step into the picture. You are there again. There you are in your body again in this successful challenge. You did it successfully, something that was difficult. You're there. It's big. It's bright. It's colorful. Remember every detail. Feel what you felt at that time. Feel the feelings again. See what you saw. Hear what you heard. Live it again. Now come back. Now the next one. Choose again something on your list. A time when you learned something difficult. You succeeded. It was difficult, but you learned it. You mastered it. And again, see the picture. Make that picture larger and larger and larger. Turn it up again, brighter and brighter and brighter. Add color, make it more colorful, more colorful. And finally, step into the picture. Associate with the experience. Live it again. Be there again with this second experience. Successful learning, you did it. Feel it. Feel how it felt. Live it again. Breathe it again. Feels good. One more time. Let's do it again. This time, from your list. Choose a successful English experience. Anything. It can be small. It's okay. It can be big. That's fine too. A time you did something with English successfully. You understood, you spoke, you read something. Doesn't matter. But you had some kind of success with English in the past. I know you have something. So pick one. Got it? And one more time, the same thing. See that picture. See yourself succeeding, speaking English or understanding it. Live it again. See it. Now make that picture bigger, bigger, closer to you, closer to you, closer, bigger, larger, larger, larger. Let's add some light. Turn it up. Make it brighter and brighter and brighter. A nice, bright, large picture in your brain. This successful experience from your past with English. Once again, add color. It should be a colorful picture. Remember the colors. See them clearly, distinctly, powerfully, vividly. And the last step, step into the picture. Become part of the picture. Associate with it. Be in that experience again. Live it again. Live it again, the success with English. Feel what you felt. Feel the happiness. Feel the pride. Okay, and come back again. Now here's what I want you to do. Every day this week, I want you to do this. I want you to review your list. Look at this list and do this exercise every time, every day. You pick something from your list, see it, make it bigger, make it brighter, more colorful, and then step into it and live it again, feel it again. Do this every day this week. You'll start to change your global beliefs. You'll change your identity. And just to be sure, make sure you write down those beliefs. I am a fast learner of English. I am an excellent English speaker. Write those down and review them also. Through this process, by doing this, just 1 week, maybe 10 days, maybe 2 weeks, you will have a big change in your identity related to English. You can do this in any part of your life. I'm focused on English learning, so that's what we're focusing on, but you can actually do this with anything. But for now, focus on English and see if it makes a difference. See how it will change your learning, your confidence, your feelings when you learn English, when you speak English. You'll feel stronger. You'll feel smarter. You'll feel more successful, and you will become more successful by doing this. All right, well, that is the end of our main talk for identity. I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Hi, this is AJ with your next lesson. The rest of the lessons are going to be a little bit different than what you've had up till now. In the rest of these lessons, I'm going to talk about some book or article or idea. I'll probably read a little bit of it just so you can get the general idea of the topic, and then I'll talk about that topic. And of course, we'll have our same mini stories. We're going to have our vocabulary lessons, and we're going to add one more kind of lesson, the point of view lesson. The point of view lesson is really great for learning grammar in an intuitive way. All right, so let's get started. This lesson is called The KAIZEN Way. So we're going to talk about a book. The book is called The KAIZEN Way by Robert Maurer. Now, Kaizen is a Japanese word, although we use it in English now a little bit. Especially in business, you find it a lot. Kaizen. Kaizen, as our Japanese students already know, means small improvements over time. It really means constant and never-ending improvement. But it has this idea of making little tiny improvements again and again and again and again for 1 week, for 1 month, for 1 year, forever. So Kaizen is kind of the opposite of innovation. Innovation means a sudden big change, a sudden big improvement. And that's a great way to learn and improve. For example, you could study English very intensely for 1 month or 2 months, and you would make a big, sudden improvement. That's the innovation idea. But there's another way you can improve, and that is the Kaizen way. And the Kaizen way means maybe you just listen to English or read English or study English. Maybe you just do it 20 minutes every day. And every day you improve just a little bit. But the key, the secret is you do it every single day. Every day you make one little improvement. Well, after 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, you will make a huge change just by making little tiny improvements over time. That's the idea of Kaizen. So I'm going to read a little bit from the Kaizen Way, this book, just a couple paragraphs, and then I'll talk about it more. Okay, so here's a section. It's called Kaizen Tip, and this is from Robert Maurer, Maurer. That's his last name. Okay, Kaizen Tip. You want to do something creative. Write a story or a song. Paint a picture. Dream up your perfect career. Learn something or come up with a zinger of a solution to an office problem. But you have no idea where to start. Your mind keeps coming up empty. During times like these, Kaizen can help you summon your powers of inspiration. Although you can't force your brain to cough up creative ideas on demand, you can program it to launch the imaginative process simply by asking yourself a small question. Here are some of the most popular small questions my clients use for creativity. Feel free to come up with your own. Whatever question you use, your challenge is to ask it with a gentle and patient spirit. When you use harsh or urgent tones with yourself, fear will clog the creative process. So here are some questions you can ask yourself. Number 1, what's one thing I wish to contribute to the world with my project or idea? Number 2, whom could I ask for help or inspiration? Number 3, what is special about my creative process, about my talents, about my team? Number 4, what type of work would excite and fulfill me? Number 5, what small, tiny change could I make now, today, to improve? Remember, if you repeat the question for several days or weeks, or however long it takes, the hippocampus, which is the part of the brain that stores information, will have no choice but to address it. And in its own way, on its own timetable, the brain will begin giving you answers. Okay, that's the section from the Kaizen Way. So this is very interesting from Robert Maurer here. This technique of asking small questions to yourself is very powerful. You can use it for anything. You could use it for learning English, of course. You could ask yourself small questions every day. For example, how could I improve today just a little bit? Or how could I improve my pronunciation 2% this week? The important part of asking these questions is they must be small questions. So don't say, how could I be totally perfect with English in 1 month? That's a huge question, and often you'll feel stress or worry or fear if you ask this gigantic, huge question. You think, oh my God, I don't know, can I do it? But if you ask a very small question, it seems so small, so easy, your brain will say, oh, I can do that. That's easy. And then you will start to take action. And of course, action is the most important part. Action is what we need. So if you try to ask big questions, you're trying to improve very fast, and you're feeling stress, maybe you can change your strategy. Try the KAIZEN way. Instead, ask yourself little small questions. How could I improve just a little bit? How could I learn just one new word each day? How could I improve my pronunciation just a tiny bit each week? Ask yourself these little questions. And another point from this article, you need to repeat the questions again and again and again. You have to ask the same question or questions every day for 1 week or 2 weeks or maybe even a couple months. By asking yourself these questions again, every day you're asking the same question, your brain must come up with an answer. Your brain must find an answer. It will find answers. Keep asking questions, your brain will give you answers. It will give you better and better answers the more you ask these small questions. So anytime you have some big goal, some big project that seems so difficult, try the KAIZEN way. Try to approach this problem with little, small, tiny improvements. Ask yourself little, small, easy questions every day, again and again and again. Your brain will get more energy. It will find the answers. You'll get momentum. You'll start to take action. And then after 1 month, you'll take bigger actions. After 2, 3 months, bigger actions, bigger actions. Actually, these improvements start to grow. The improvements get bigger and faster and faster. That's the magic of the KAIZEN way. It seems so small and tiny, seems so easy, but over time it builds. It grows stronger and stronger. So try this. Try this method. Try the KAIZEN way. And again, the book title is The KAIZEN Way. That's KAIZEN, KAIZEN. The KAIZEN Way by Robert Maurer. All right, and remember, of course, keep your psychology strong, keep your physiology strong. I hope you're smiling right now. I hope those shoulders are back. Chin up. Lots of energy. Don't forget that every single lesson. You must be smiling. You must be moving. You must have energy in your body. That's how you're going to learn English much, much faster. Okay, I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Hi, this is AJ. Time for the next lesson. Now, this is one of my favorite topics by one of my favorite people. So I want you to be extra happy, extra strong body and physiology for this one. So stand up straight, get those shoulders back, chest up, breathe deep. Get that air going in there. Energize your body. Big, super big smile. Huge smile. Ah! Make everyone think you're super crazy. Come on. Now move your body. Come on, get it moving now. If you're standing, you just kind of wiggle around. Move those arms, move those legs. If you can, start walking. Get the blood going. Get that energy going. Let's go. Are you ready? This lesson is called The Power of Reading. And it comes from an article by Dr. Stephen Krashen. He's one of my favorite people in the world. Dr. Stephen Krashen is probably the #1 expert on language learning and language teaching in the world. He's just an incredible professor, an incredible researcher, an incredible intellectual. He has done an incredible amount of research on the topic of learning languages. And today we're going to talk about just one part of his research. Really, Effortless English is based a lot on Dr. Stephen Krashen's research, all of the methods we use. But we're going to talk about just one particular method, one particular idea, very strong idea, that comes from Dr. Stephen Krashen and his research. And that is the power of reading. Specifically, it's the power of pleasure reading. It's the power of easy reading. We'll talk about that more in a minute. But first, let me read a little bit from this article. Now, this article, as you might guess, is about the power of reading. And Dr. Krashen did a lot of research about reading, specifically about how do people, native speakers, and people learning foreign languages, how do they learn vocabulary? How do they get good grammar? How do they get excellent writing skills? And one of the most important methods is reading. Reading for pleasure. Now, when we talk about reading, there are kind of two different ways to learn reading, even for small children learning a native language. Now, one method, the old method, is that you learn reading skills. So you have to study and analyze vocabulary, for example. Spelling in English is very difficult and tough, so we have to study that a lot in school. Well, we don't have to, but often with old methods and old teachers, we do. We study spelling. We study vocabulary. And we learn all these skills. We use all these textbooks to learn reading. And of course, people learning a new language, a foreign language, well, guess what? You do the same things, right? You learn textbooks. You're reading all these textbooks, and you're trying to learn all these, quote, reading skills, unquote. Now, the other way, the other method, and this is the method, in fact, that works much, much better, according to Dr. Krashen's research, according to a lot of other research, is just reading for fun. Imagine that! And what that means is reading a lot of easy books. Now, for children, that might be comic books. It might be just children's novels. And it's just reading. In other words, we learn to read by reading. We learn vocabulary from reading. We learn a lot of our grammar from reading. We learn our writing skills from reading. Not by analyzing and studying grammar. Not by trying to memorize vocabulary. If you read something very easy, you know most of the words, and then you find a new word, you don't need to memorize it. You will start to understand that word just because you understand the general meaning of the story. You understand the whole paragraph. You understand the sentence. So that one word, you can guess the meaning. And then guess what happens? You see that new word again, somewhere else in the book. And then you start, it's in a different situation, a little bit different paragraph, a little bit different sentence, and now you understand it a little more. Then you see it again in another paragraph, somewhere else in the book. And over time, you will naturally learn that word. You'll never try to memorize it. You will never study it, but you will learn it. You will know it forever. That's the best way to learn vocabulary. There's a lot of research about this. They compare people who try to memorize vocabulary with books, textbooks, that is. And then other people who learn just by reading easy books. They're reading novels all the time. They're reading. Which group of people learns more vocabulary faster? The readers. The people who are just reading for fun. They're just reading a lot of fun, easy novels and books. Those people have much bigger vocabularies than people who are actually trying to study vocabulary. It's the same for grammar. People who are studying grammar, study grammar rules, study grammar textbooks. And then other people who just reading lots of novels. They're reading all the time. Comic books, novels, articles, stories. The readers have better grammar than the people who are studying grammar from textbooks. It's a huge difference. And the more you read over time, the bigger the difference, the better your grammar gets compared to people who are using textbooks. So this is a huge topic. It is so important. So let me read a little bit from Dr. Krashen, and we'll talk a little more. Okay, this is from Dr. Krashen. When second language learners read for pleasure, they develop the competence they need to move from the beginning, ordinary conversational level to a level where they can use the second language for more demanding purposes, such as the serious study of literature, business, and so on. When they read for pleasure, they can continue to improve in their second language without classes, without teachers, without study, and even without people to converse with. When we read, we really have no choice. We must develop literacy. We rarely find well-read people who have serious problems with grammar, spelling, and so on. They write acceptably well because they can't help it. They have subconsciously acquired good writing style as well as the conventions of writing. Our problem in language education, as Frank Smith has pointed out, is that we have confused cause and effect. We have assumed that we first learn language skills and then apply these skills to reading and writing. But that is not the way the human brain works. Rather, reading for meaning, reading about things that matter to us, is the cause of language development. So very interesting. What does that mean? So what it means is that you don't first learn skills. You learn writing skills, you learn spelling skills, you learn how to do a sentence, you learn how to make a paragraph, and then later you can read and write well. That's exactly the opposite of what actually happens. What actually happens is you read and you read and you read. You read sentences, you read paragraphs, you read stories, you read books, you read novels. And after reading so much, you subconsciously, you intuitively acquire, get, learn great reading skills, great writing skills, great vocabulary, great grammar. It comes from reading a lot for pleasure. The reading comes first. And in fact, I would add listening to that. And Dr. Krashen adds that as well. This article is about reading, but in fact, listening is the same thing. So when you're reading and listening a lot, that's the first step. And you need to do so much of it. You've got to read and listen for pleasure, for fun, a lot. Now, the good news is you have to do it a lot, but it's fun. It's easy. You're listening to stuff you like, so it's okay. You're reading stuff you enjoy. You're not thinking about grammar rules. You're not thinking about vocabulary. You're just reading and listening and enjoying yourself. You do that first. The grammar skills then come later. They come from the listening and the reading. The writing skills come from reading a lot. Your vocabulary comes from reading a lot and listening too. Your pronunciation comes from listening a lot. It's input that is the most important. And specific kind of input has got to be meaningful, real, enjoyable, pleasurable. So that's the power of reading. Now, I'm not going to talk about all the specific research studies in this book, but if you like, get his book. The book is called The Power of Reading. That's the title, The Power of Reading. It's by Dr. Stephen Krashen. Now, Stephen is spelled S-T-E-P-H-E-N. And Krashen is spelled K-R-A-S-H-E-N. So Dr. Stephen Krashen, and the book title, The Power of Reading. You can get it on Amazon.com. So if you want to see all the huge number of research studies at different universities around the world about this topic of reading and learning better grammar skills, better vocabulary, better speaking, better pronunciation. If you want to see the proof, the evidence, then, get his book. You can look at all the different studies. There's so many of them. But, if you trust me, You can take my word for it. You can trust that I am trying to help you as best I can, that I really care about you. You can trust that this is, in fact, how it works. That if you want to write well, if you want to have a great English vocabulary, if you want to have great English grammar, you need to read and read and read. And what you need to read are novels. Novels are the key. Easy novels. So here's my rule. What does easy mean for you? My rule is you should not need a dictionary to read the book. So if you let's say you grab a book by Stephen King, kind of a famous writer in the United States. You get a Stephen King book, and in English, of course, and you start reading it. But, there's so many words you don't know, and you need a dictionary. You get your dictionary, and you're looking up all these words. Well, it's too difficult for you. If you need a dictionary to understand it, it's too difficult. Okay, so, put it aside and wait. You can read it later when your reading skills are higher. But for now, find an easier book. I recommend children's novels. I think they are a fantastic way to learn. You can get the Goosebump books, for example. There's a whole series. They're for kids. They're called Goosebumps. And there's, I don't know how many. There's probably 30 or 50 of them. Okay? They're short, and they're pretty easy. You can probably read them without a dictionary. What you should do is read all of them. Read all 30 of them. Read them. Just enjoy them. Don't use a dictionary. If you see a word you don't know, just guess the meaning and keep reading. If you're wrong, it doesn't matter. You'll see that word again and again and again. Eventually, you will understand that word. You won't need a dictionary. Just enjoy the story. Another set of books I like are the Hardy Boys books. These are so old. I read them when I was a kid. And there's another series of books called Nancy Drew. So the Hardy Boys books and the Nancy Drew books, another set of kids' books, kids' novels. They're fairly long, but not too long, that are really great if you want to do a lot of pleasure reading that does not require a dictionary. So again, Nancy Drew books and the Hardy Boys books. And again, there are so many of them, 20, 30 or more in each series. You can read the whole series if you want to. And of course, you can just go to any bookstore that has English books, look in the children's section or the young adult section. Another series of books I like are by Ronald Dahl. Not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right, but I think Dahl is D-A-H-L, if I'm right. Anyway, he wrote books such as Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, James and the Giant Peach. He's got a lot of books, so you could look for some of those. And of course, there are movies that go with those books. You could watch the movies too and listen to them. You can also get audio books. This is something I think is really great. If you can find an audio book and a regular book, you can read it and then you can listen to it at the same time. And again, using children's novels. So read a lot of children's novels. And after you finish all the Hardy Boys books, and after you finish all the Goosebumps books, then find a book maybe by Stephen King. Or maybe if that's still too difficult, then find something for young adults. And then read a lot of those books. Eventually, probably within 1 year's time, if you're reading all the time, if you're reading every day, within 1 year, you'll be reading adult novels. You'll be reading the same books that I read for pleasure, for fun, that native speakers read. But don't start there. Go back and just start with children's novels and read and read and read. Your grammar will improve automatically and effortlessly. Your vocabulary will explode. It will increase so much, so fast. You won't believe it. It's amazing. So please, follow this. Reading is so powerful, but it has to be reading for fun, reading for pleasure. All right, I hope you enjoyed this topic. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, this is AJ. Welcome to the next lesson. This one is called Leaders Make Mistakes. And it comes from a book called Leadership by Tom Peters. Now, Tom Peters is one of my favorite business writers. The reason I like Tom Peters is that he's very passionate. He's not a boring business person. Most business books are boring, but not Tom Peters. His books are excellent. And they're full of passionate, emotional language and words, and emotional, passionate ideas about how to make business into something more, something special, not just greedy little people trying to get more money, but really trying to contribute and help people and do great things. So that's what Tom Peters writes about, and it's why I really like him. He's got a great website, tompeters.com, and he's got a lot of great books. And this book that I'm talking about today is called Leadership. And there's a little section, and the section is called Leaders Make Mistakes. So I'm going to read this small section, and then I'll talk about it more. So here we go. Leaders make mistakes, and they make no bones about it. On the wall of my writing studio in Vermont hangs a quotation by David Kelly. Fail faster, succeed sooner. Next to that quote hangs another by Diane Arbus, who told her students, learn not to be careful. In placid times, leaders may think they have all the answers. In turbulent times, leaders must have the best questions. Questions that encourage others to undertake voyages of mutual discovery. And the essence of that process is letting people screw up. If you try new stuff, you screw up. If you try a lot of new stuff, you screw up a lot. In fact, the best leaders make big mistakes. Mistakes are not enough. Big mistakes are mandatory. My all-time favorite PowerPoint slide is this. Reward excellent failures. Punish mediocre successes. These tumultuous times beg for bold initiatives. While thoughtless recklessness is not to be applauded, the word reckless must be examined carefully. Most people who change the world, Martin Luther King, Galileo, Picasso, they were indeed reckless, but not thoughtless. The Martin Luther Kings of the world, the Galileos, the Picassos, the Churchills, the de Gaulles, they attempted to create an entirely new world against long odds. If that ain't reckless, I don't know what the word means. Okay, that's the end of this section. Passionate language from Tom Peters, as always. What's he saying? Well, quite simply, he's saying that you have to try new things. You have to take risks in your life and business. And when you take risks, you will make mistakes. You will fail. Failure is mandatory. Mandatory means required. It means you must do it. You must make big mistakes. Because without big mistakes, you will never have big successes. He's saying that the essence of succeeding is failing. The people who succeed the most, the people who become the richest, or the companies that do the best, it doesn't matter what area of life, they're usually the people who have the biggest mistakes. Because they're always trying new stuff. They're always trying to do something much, much better, much bigger, much more interesting. And many times they fail. Many times they make mistakes. But they don't stop. They don't cry, I made a mistake, I failed. They learn from it. They look at the mistake, they learn, and then they try something else even better. And they keep doing that process again and again. They try something great. They fail, They learn, they think about it, then they try something else great. It never ends. Tom Peters says that is the process for huge success. That is the process that all leaders must follow. Leaders must make mistakes, and leaders must encourage their people, their team, to make mistakes also. I love this because it's absolutely true. It's what I follow in my own business. I've made so many mistakes when I started Effortless English, when I started the company. We started as a small membership site. But then that didn't work. It was a failure. It was a big failure. So we quit, and then we tried something else. We started recording the lessons and selling the lessons as a bundle, as a group. And then that worked, but our first website was really ugly. And so then eventually we improved the website. And then our lessons. When I first made my original lessons, the sound quality was not too good. I didn't have any money, so I had to record them in my apartment. But now we're in a recording studio, and these have a much better, higher quality sound. It's a never-ending process. As long as you try something new, as long as you try to be different, you're always going to make a mistake. Unfortunately, in school, people are taught to be afraid of mistakes. What happens in school if you make a mistake? You get a big red X. You fail your test. You fail on your paper. You get a bad grade. You get criticized by the teacher. You get in trouble with your parents. All of school is focused on teaching you to avoid mistakes. As you grew up going to school year after year, you were taught again and again, don't make mistakes, don't make mistakes, don't make mistakes. Don't try something new. Don't be different. School taught you to fail in life. They taught you not to fail on tests. They taught you not to fail at small things. But that belief will cause you to fail in your life. It means you'll never improve very much. You'll never be special. You'll never do anything great if you're afraid to make mistakes. If you want to have a great life, you absolutely must make mistakes. If you make big mistakes, you'll have a great, big, fantastic life. It doesn't matter if you like it. That is the truth. So you need to learn how to screw up, and you need to learn how to accept it and learn from it and do it again and again and again. That's Tom Peters' message. It's also my message. So please, don't be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes are fantastic. That's why on our forums and in our master member site, I always tell people, write on the forums and communicate. Never worry about mistakes. I want to see mistakes on those forums. I like the students who write on our forums and they have mistakes. I like it. Why? Because most members never write anything because they're afraid. Most members do nothing. They never contribute. They never write anything because why? They're afraid they'll make a mistake. So they don't learn. They learn slowly because of fear. The people who are writing and making mistakes, they're the ones who learn faster. They're the best members. They're our master members. They're not afraid. They keep making mistakes again and again. They make a lot of mistakes when they write on the forums. Everyone can see their mistakes. They don't care. That's why they learn faster. That's why they improve more quickly. That's why they are our best members. They're the ones that I really, really love. The ones who are not afraid to make mistakes. The ones who make those mistakes every day and they just keep communicating. They keep on going. They never stop. They're the best students. And I try to follow this same philosophy myself in my business and as a teacher. As a teacher, I always try new things. When I was teaching in the classroom, I was always trying new activities, new approaches, new methods, constantly trying them. Most of them failed. Most of the time, the students didn't like it, or it was not effective. Did I stop? Did I cry? Oh no, I made a mistake. No, I did not. I learned, and then I tried something else, and I tried something else. So this effortless English system we have now is the result of many mistakes in the past. And I hope and I plan that in the future, the effortless English system will be even better because I will continue to try new stuff. We're playing with video now. We have a master member site which uses video. That's something new. Some of the videos are going to be bad. I'm going to make mistakes. I will always continue to make mistakes because I know that making mistakes is the key to growth. It's the key to improvement. It's the key to innovation. It's the key to big success. You need to learn that too. So this is my message to you. Do not be afraid. Get on the forums now, today, and write something. Anything. Write about your life. Write about what you like to do. Write about music. Write about movies. I don't care. Write anything. Make mistakes. Make grammar mistakes. Make spelling mistakes. That's the way you will improve, and that's the way you will get stronger as an English speaker. If you do nothing, if you refuse to write, if you're afraid to make mistakes, you're going to learn slowly. So that's my challenge to you. Every day, at least every week, get on the forums and write something. And make mistakes. Do not correct your mistakes. Don't worry about it. Don't look at a grammar book. You just write something, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and boom, you hit enter. You publish it with the mistakes. Let everyone see the mistakes. That is my challenge to you. That's what you must do if you are serious. If you really want to improve as an English learner, if you really want to speak better and write better and understand better, that's what you must do. You must write on the forums every week, every day, with mistakes. I hope you'll do that. If you do that, if you do it a lot, then you can become one of our master members. And master members, I email them personally sometimes because they're my favorite members. They're the ones I really love, so I like to give my attention to them. If you do nothing, if you sit and you stay quiet, you're afraid to make a mistake, well, you're just not going to learn very fast. So make your decision. I hope you'll decide to be strong, to be brave, and to make mistakes so you will improve very quickly. I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Hi, this is AJ. Welcome to our next lesson. This one is called Excitement. We're going to talk about excitement. And I'm going to read a little section from a book called The 4-Hour Workweek, which is a fantastic book. I love this book. In fact, I'm going to do a few lessons based on sections of this book because I really, really love it. I think it's just an incredible book that really has a very creative way of looking at life and work and enjoying yourself. Because the theme of the book really is enjoying your life. I mean, that is really what the book is all about. And Tim Ferriss is the writer of the book. Again, the book's title is The 4-Hour Workweek, written by Tim Ferriss. Absolutely excellent book. I highly recommend it. Now, the section we're going to talk about today is about excitement. So let me read what Tim has to say about excitement, and then I'll talk more about it. So here we go. What do you want? Well, first let's ask a better question. Most people will never know what they want. I don't know what I want. If you ask me what I want to do in the next 5 months for language learning, on the other hand, I do know. It's a matter of specificity. What do you want is too imprecise to produce a meaningful and actionable answer. Forget about it. What are your goals is similarly fated for confusion and guesswork. To rephrase the question, we need to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Let's assume we have 10 goals and we achieve them. What is the desired outcome that makes all the effort worthwhile? The most common response is what I also would have suggested 5 years ago: happiness. I no longer believe this is a good answer. I no longer believe that happiness is the reason we achieve goals. Happiness can be bought with a bottle of wine. And the idea of happiness has become ambiguous through overuse. There is a more precise alternative that reflects what I believe is the actual objective for achieving goals. Bear with me. What is the opposite of happiness? Sadness? No. Just as love and hate are two sides of the same coin, so are happiness and sadness. Crying out of happiness is a perfect illustration of this idea. So, for example, the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. And the opposite of happiness is boredom. Excitement is the more practical synonym of happiness. And it is precisely what you should strive to chase. It's the cure-all. When people suggest that you follow your passion or that you follow your bliss, I believe they are, in fact, referring to the same idea: excitement. This brings us full circle. It brings us back to the beginning, to our beginning question. The question you should be asking isn't, what do I want? It's not, what are my goals? The question you should be asking yourself all the time is, what would excite me? Okay. That's a nice little section from Tim Ferriss from the 4-Hour Workweek. And, I think he's right. Happiness can be found right now very easily. You don't need to achieve a goal to be happy. You don't need to speak perfect English to be happy. You don't need a lot of money to be happy. You don't need to do anything. You can just smile, make your physiology strong, and be grateful for everything you have now. Be aware, be grateful of everything you have now in your life. Your family, your friends, all the people you love and who love you. All the great opportunities you have in your life. Your health. All of us have so many great things in our life. Happiness is really just a choice, an emotional choice. You choose to be happy. You can make yourself happy right now in any situation. So we don't need to have goals to be happy. We don't need to achieve things and get success to be happy. But if we want passion, if we want excitement, well, that's where goals come in. Goals make us grow. They push us to become more, to try new things, to become bigger and better people, to live amazing lives. That's why we have goals. Because, as many people have said, you're either growing or you're dying. So we can be happy anytime, anywhere. But if we really want to be passionate, we really want to feel powerful, positive emotions and feel this incredible energy, well, we need to grow. We need to feel excited about our lives. Not just happy, excited. That's the reason to have goals. So when you're choosing your goals, and this is the most important point from this section, when you're choosing your goals, don't choose small goals. Don't choose boring goals. Boring goals are useless. Why have a goal if it's boring? Just stay the same. The only reason to choose a goal and to try to achieve a goal is if it excites you. It will give you energy and passion and excitement, trying to get it and actually getting it. You should feel excited about both. That is the purpose of goals. They provide energy. They provide excitement. So when you choose goals, you absolutely must choose exciting goals. When you write that goal down, you should feel excited immediately. If you don't, it's a bad goal. Throw it away and make a new one. All of your goals, your health goals, your money goals, your job and work goals, your relationship goals, your language learning goals, they should all be super exciting to you. Not just a little bit, oh, that would be nice. No. You should feel passionate and excited just thinking about it. Wow, that would be great. So let's talk about money, for example, because it's just such a easy, clear thing to talk about. It's easy to measure. So let's say money, you decide, oh, I'd like to have a little more money. Well, that goal sucks. There's no excitement in getting a little more money. It doesn't excite anybody. But let's say you love cars. And you say, I want enough money to buy a new Ferrari, a hot red fast Ferrari. Woohoo! Well, as we've talked about before, that's exciting. That's a real goal. You will now have a lot of excitement and energy trying to get more money. Because now you have something exciting. You have an exciting reason to do it. You'll be excited trying to get the money, and if you succeed, you will be very excited to buy that car. Or maybe you have a more generous goal that excites you. Maybe your goal is to help hundreds or thousands of homeless people, to give food to people who are hungry, and to see the happiness on their face. That's exciting. That's an exciting reason to get more money. You can wake up every day and feel fantastic about that goal. It will give you energy every single day. And when you accomplish that goal, you will feel great. You will be excited when it happens. That's a great reason to get more money. Also. So again, excitement is what we're looking for. That energy, that passion, that excitement. That's the purpose of goals. So you need to evaluate every one of your goals. And yes, we're sort of repeating some of the ideas we've had in the past. It's okay. This is a very important subject. And I want you to think about it again from a little bit different point of view here. That your life should be exciting. You've got one life. You're going to die. We all are going to die. Do you want to get to the end of your life and look back and say, well, it was kind of boring. It was okay. So-so. It wasn't bad. I mean, that's a wasted life. That sucks. You might as well end right now if that's your poor little goal. That sucks. But I know you don't want that because you're listening to me still. You would have quit by now if that's what you wanted. I know you want more. You want to get to the end of your life and look back and say, I lived an amazing life. I'm excited about all the great things I did. I'm excited about all the people I helped. I'm excited about all the things I learned. Well, that's what you want in your life right now, too, don't you? Don't you want to be excited about your job or your career? About your work? If you're not, you need to change something. You need a bigger goal. A bigger, more exciting goal. You need to keep making that goal bigger and bigger and bigger until you do feel excited. That's when you know it's a good goal. When you start feeling excited and a little scared, as you know. And it's the same when you talk about your body or learning English or anything. You gotta find the excitement in it. And that's so much more powerful than just achieving something. If you achieve, you make $1 million, but you're not excited, there's no exciting reason. You won't be happy. In fact, probably the opposite. You're going to feel very sad and disappointed. So find that excitement. Find your passions in life and choose goals that excite you. That is the only reason to have a goal. All right. Good luck. I hope that you'll go to our member forums and write your goals. Tell everybody about your goals. We want to know. Make us excited. I'm excited to read great goals that other people have. And I'm really excited to hear when they're working on them. So please go to the forums and write down your exciting goals. Share your exciting goals with all of us, all of your Effortless English Club members and family. Share your big, exciting goals with us. And then, every week or every month, tell us what you're doing. How's it going? And when you have successes, when you achieve exciting goals, when you feel great and excited, please go to the forums. Share your excitement. Most other groups, most other peer groups, most other learning groups, they're always just complaining all the time. So it's so negative. It just takes all the energy out. But not our club. Our club is the opposite. We share our excitement. We share our successes. We share our passion. That is the purpose of the forums. It's the purpose of our master member site. It is the purpose of the Effortless English Club. So I'm asking you, please share your excitement. Share your positive energy with us. Give it to other people. Inspire other members. Let's do that for each other and build an amazing community, an amazing family of English learners. All right, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.